Welcome back to GMC. Your time right now, 5:26. Well, believe it or not, we are just 5 days out from the Oscars airing live right here on ABC Columbia. So, are you ready?
This is such an exciting time, and our Matt Perrin wants to get you there. He wants to get you ready. So, we're going to look inside Best Picture nominee, Darkest Hour.
Welcome to day 6 of the Oscars overview. Yesterday we talked about Dunkirk, and I said I was going to do the other side of that coin. While Dunkirk showed the soldier's perspective, today's nominee shows how the brass in London were dealing with the same situation. So without any further ado, let's dive right into the early days of World War II with Darkest Hour. Our film begins in Britain. The current Prime Minister has been forced to resign as a result of how he's handled everything so far. The party has to submit a new Prime Minister, and although he isn't who they want, Winston Churchill, played by Gary Oldman, is their only choice. After being given the title by a very hesitant king, Churchill settles in to get stuff done. Germany is marching all over Europe and taking over by storm. Even though Churchill is known mainly for his alcohol intake, he predicted this happening, and now he needs to figure out how to squash it. We see that the entire British army is being closed in on at Dunkirk and facing elimination. Churchill's cabinet members insist he broker a peace deal with Germany in order to spare all of their troops. Churchill knows that Hitler is not a man to be bargained with and is completely frustrated with the lack of anyone else to comprehend this.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
The situation is getting dire, and although he tries to keep up the optimism of the general population, everyone can feel the danger coming. As the movie progresses, Churchill enacts a plan behind the back of his cabinet to save the army trapped in Dunkirk. He also has to make military decisions that are both necessary and extremely hard. His opposition is rising up against him, and it feels as if Churchill is being forced to fight 2 wars. But if there's one thing he's good at, it's words. And with surprising new support from the king, Churchill feels that he can rally the people of England to support the war effort, all while bringing the soldiers home safely. I have already reviewed this film earlier this year, and my original thought sticks, which is just wow. Of course, to start with, I'm talking about Gary Oldman's performance. We've seen him transform into unrecognizable characters before, but now he's transforming into a recognizable one, and he does it completely. From the very beginning, all we as the audience see is Churchill, with absolutely no trace of Gary Oldman. He's my hands-on favorite to take Best Actor, unless Daniel Day-Lewis gets some retirement favoritism. The film itself is done so well. It's one of those movies that are so entertaining that you don't realize how much history you're actually learning. You think of Winston Churchill as one of the great past prime ministers, but you never realize how little favor he carried or the odds that he was up against. You can never imagine having to make the decisions that he had to make, and although you probably will never have to, the film draws you into the point that you are also feeling the pressure and anxiety yourself. And that to me is the sign of a great movie. When you feel like you have a personal stake in the outcome, that is what sets this movie apart and above Dunkirk and its portrayal of that time. That being said, much like I said yesterday, I feel that the statue will elude this film because it and Dunkirk will cancel each other out. But whether it wins or not, you cannot lose by seeing this one. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for what I consider the sleeper of the group, and check out the actual Oscars airing this Sunday right here on ABC Columbia. This has been your Oscars overview. Back to you.